Hello, this is Manesh Patel from the EII Capital Group. Today is August 21st, 2011. This is our weekly Ichimoku analysis for copper, gold, oil, natural gas, and everything. So we pretty much cover all the futures from metals to commodities to oil, copper, and so forth. So let's begin. We got a lot to cover. This is for educational use only. All charts are either going to be from Thinkorswim, which is by TD Ameritrade Now, TradeStation, or FreeStockCharts.com. Here are my contact details there. You can follow us on Twitter at Ichimoku Trading, or you could access any of our free videos at ichimokutrade.com. Okay, we got a lot to cover, so let's just go straight to the charts. Remember, on the left-hand side is basically the weekly time frame. On the right-hand side is basically your daily time frame. If you look at cocoa futures, which is the first future that we look at, there's nothing really going on at all. This is basically bearish in nature. The major support level is going to be 2,800, and major resistance level is going to be basically 33, about probably 3,100. So until then, this thing's really not doing anything. Sorry, major resistance is going to be 3311. So you got 2,800 is a major floor, and 3311 is basically a major ceiling. So this really is really doing nothing as long as it just consolidates between those two levels. Crude oil, if you look here, this was a major bullish trend going on. This is a major pullback right now. There is a possibility of this pullback actually being into a trend reversal if price could sit there and close below $75 a barrel for crude oil by the end of next Friday or the next couple of weeks. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But momentum is starting to shift now away from the bulls into the bear camp, and it's going to be interesting to see. If you look at the daily time frame, it is bearish trending right now. It went and retested this low right here, and it's kind of interesting to see exactly what's going to happen now. Major resistance level on the daily time frame is going to be $88, and major support is going to be 80. So we're ranging an 8-point range right now as far as the daily time frame is concerned. And you can see that's a pretty big range for crude oil. Normally you don't see that at all, but you can see the high frequency traders are pretty much taking a hold of this thing and yanking it back and forth for profits. If you look at cotton, cotton here right now is basically was bullish trending. It's entered a major pullback right now. If it actually breaks $85, 85, then basically at the end of the week, this thing can sit there and be a trend reversal, and does have the possibility going down. But if you look at your daily charts, we're pretty much just consolidating right now for about we're 1.5 months right now. We're just consolidating right now, right at the bottom of the range. So it's interesting to see what happens. But as far as cotton is concerned, there's no trade at all as far as the daily time frame is concerned. Major support level is going to be basically 90. Major resistance level is going to be around 130, believe it or not. So there's nothing really there. US dollar index, if you look at the weekly time frame, this thing is still bearish trending. It has not broken that trend at all. It's got to sit there and close above 75.34 on a weekly time frame in order to sit there and say we're now entering a major pullback, which is a bullish momentum. And if you look at the daily time frame, you can see we're just consolidating, nothing really going on. So we really got to break the 73.50 level to the downside this week. If we don't, then it's definitely going to have a possibility of the dollar going up, where momentum is now shifting, where this future can sit there and go up. Major resistance level is going to be at 74.81 and then 75.34. But so momentum does look like it's trying to shift where the dollar is going to get stronger. So watch out for that. And if you watch the currency video, you'll see that you're starting to see that across all the different dollar denominated pairs too. Feeder cattle, if you look at it, it's bullish trending right now. It's on a major support at 133. It's just sitting there holding there completely. If you look at the daily time frame, prices in the cloud, so we're basically consolidating. But if this thing does break 130, we are going to start a trend to the bearish side, and it's going to go all the way down, possibly to about 126, which is the next major support. Resistance level is going to be 134.98 for feeder cattle. The lean hogs was a bullish one, the most bullish one of all of them. Look at this, you guys. You can see this. This is a bullish trend right here. Look at a huge gap where this thing just gapped straight down. That is dangerous right there. That's not a bad tick either, believe it or not. Welcome to the future world. where it's better to play options if you're a newbie compared to sitting there playing the future straight off. But you can see that this is a major pullback, believe it or not, according to the weekly time frame. You could see on the daily time frame, this thing gapped down, broke major support level here, and then it's gone below that. Now it's going to see exactly what's going to happen. But support's going to be basically 85. Resistance now is going to be 96.81 as far as the daily is concerned. Copper. If you look at copper, copper's being the thing on the news, especially here in the U.S. If you look at it, it's not really doing anything, believe it or not. The weekly time frame is just consolidating in a range, and you can see, you just draw a line here, and that's about 3.8521 is the bottom of the range, and 4.6000 is the top of the range. So really doing nothing at all there as far as the weekly is concerned. If you look at the daily, it looked like it wanted to start a bearish trend, but it still hasn't broken below 3.8 at all. Unless it breaks 3.8, then it's not going to do anything at all and get to the next level. Major support resistance level is going to be 4.179. Really, this thing doesn't look like it's going to do anything, so I would just do is set your alerts and move on and wait and see what happens. Heating oil, you could see, was bullish trending, just consolidating, really doing nothing at all right now. And you could see this from the daily time frame. Just draw a line here. 2.7068 is basically the support, and resistance is going to be 3.20. So it's just sitting there ranging between those two values and really nothing going on between them. So it's a swing trader's heaven for that particular future right now. Coffee. If you look at coffee, was bullish trending here. It's pulled back. It's at a major resistance level right now that kind of bounced off at 270. This week's going to be interesting to see exactly where coffee lands up. But momentum is starting to shift, believe it or not, on the daily time frame to the bulls. So if this thing just consolidates for a couple more days, then momentum's going to shift definitely to the bullish side, and then it's got to make a run where it definitely breaks above 280. If it breaks above 280 and closes that way by the end of the week, then there is a possibility of retesting the high, which would be all the way back here on the weekly, which is be about 300. But until then, it's just consolidating sideways, so you just gotta wait for it to break these support resistance levels and then go from there. If you look at lumber, as far as the weekly is concerned, nothing really going consolidating. It's at the major support right now, about 215. If it breaks that, it could start a trend as far as the weekly and the daily are concerned. So definitely sit there and look for that to happen right now. I definitely would be sitting there putting my money on lumber going down and with a very, very tight stop. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Resistance is going to be is 242.10, and as we talked about, support's at 215. So you're right there on this thing breaking down. Live cattle, if you look at live cattle, this kind of looks like a double top here. However, that's not confirmed at all. The price has got to break on the weekly time frame, 111.625, in order to confirm the double top. And if you look at the daily time frame, we're sitting on a major support as far as the daily is concerned at 115, exactly there. Resistance is basically going to be around 125. So this week should tell us a lot for live cattle. But if you look at the other one, remember the one that was really, really strong, which was lean hogs, that took a big gap down. So it seems like there's something going on in the meat world where things are starting to look downwards. If you look at natural gas on the weekly time frame, we're right back at a major support level. We're sitting right on top of the support level right now, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. If you look here on the daily time frame, this is bearish momentum. If we break below 3.8, this is going to start a trend of both the daily and the weekly. So there is a high possibility of natural gas going to retest the lows at 3.250. So definitely would look for that to start occurring with a tight stop. Frozen concentrated orange juice, you can see it's bullish trending here. It did a major pullback here, and you could see that from here. Resistance is basically at 180.63, and the support is going to be at 168.95. This thing does look like it's going to start a trend. If it breaks 168.95, it's going to retest this low and has a possibility of going lower. So definitely watch out for orange juice to maybe be on the bearish camp unless it breaks 180.63 this week, and it will be only time will tell us that. Palladium, If you look at it, it's bullish trending, just consolidating here at the top right now, and you can see from the daily chart really doing nothing, just sitting there swinging back and forth between 700 and 850, so nothing really going on there. Platinum is being a magical word for this week. Starting to get some headlines now. If you look at it, nothing really going on yet because it's at the top of the range as far as the weekly is concerned. If it breaks about 1900, this thing does have a potential of going higher as far as the weekly is concerned. However, if you look at the daily time frame, this is being pump up. That's dangerous to sit there and start buying right now. You really need a pullback if possible about to 1820. If it comes back to 1820 and hold its ground there or at 1787 and then starts making a move up, I'll definitely look at buying platinum there. But I definitely would wait to see what happens. But if it breaks it now, it's a dangerous game to sit there and play. It may be a fake breakout, so definitely watch for this as time goes on. But this is a metal just like gold and silver, which we're about to talk about in a minute. It's just getting momentum from the news and everything that's going on out there. Gasoline, if you look at gasoline, if you look at it, it was bullish trending, and now it's in a pullback phase. It's trying to get to its major support level at 2.6303, but it hasn't got there at all. So you look at the daily time frame, basically tried to sit there and go bearish, hasn't succeeded, came all the way back to its resistance level of 2.90, and it's held. And right now, if you look at it, it's just sitting going sideways. If it holds at 2.90 and then starts going down, then gasoline definitely has a potential of going down a lot more. But if it sits there and breaks 2.90, then this thing's just going to sit there and consolidate and has a possibility of going to 3, and then time will tell what happens. Sugar, if you look at sugar, it's been bullish trending, done a pullback, is now just going sideways. If this thing breaks 32, then we do have a possibility of a trend starting again on sugar to the top side. So be careful and beware of this one, because this one does have a potential of trending again to retest the high at 36 and possibly break that too. So watch out for sugar again to skyrocket up there. Let's go look at silver. Finally, we're getting there. If you look at silver, bullish trending, pullback. It seems like we're trying to continue the trend here. If you look here on the daily time frame, look at Friday. Big movement up. Right now it looks like it's a doji bar as people look at it. So momentum's there. It is not yet bullish trending as far as the daily is concerned at all. Major support level is going to be around 41. And the resistance level, believe it or not, is up there at 45.50. So we got to see what happens with this in the next couple of days. This may set up for some bullish trades as far as the daily is concerned, but right now we're definitely not set up at all. So time will tell us exactly where we go with that one. Look at gold. Nothing to tell you. You can just see from the charts it's bullish trending as far as the daily and weekly are concerned, and it's overextended as far as the weekly now is concerned, and overextended a little, not much as the weekly is concerned as far as the daily is concerned too now. So minor support level is going to be at 1800. Major support level is going to be at 1732, and resistance level, there's no past at all, but even number of 2000 is a magical word out there, which a lot of people I think are trying to shoot for this thing to get there very soon. 30-year treasury bonds, if you look at it, basically broke out of the resistance here on the weekly, and it's basically, if you look at it, it's just getting here, retested a high there, and if you shrink this down, you just basically see we're just sitting there going back and forth between a range between the support over here and the resistance level right around here. So we're just going back and forth right now. So if you look at the daily time frame, it's a nice bullish trend there, and now we basically got to the resistance value on the weekly time frame. So time's going to tell us exactly what's going to happen there. But as far as the weekly is concerned, we are overbought, so be very careful as far as that's concerned right now. Corn futures, if you look at corn, nothing really going on as far as the weekly is concerned. It was bullish trending, pullback, and it looks like it's trying to go bullish again. If it could sit there and break 730, this thing does have a possibility of going higher and starting a trend. So definitely watch out for corn in the next couple of days to maybe retest the high of 800 if it could sit there and push upwards with some momentum. Let's go look at 10-year treasury bonds, you could see the same thing as 30-year. They're basically overextended as far as the weekly is concerned, bullish trending as far as the daily is concerned. That is moving up. Oats, if you look at Oats, it's just consolidating between two ranges right now. As you can see them marked here with these alerts. If you look at the daily time frame, nothing really going on. However, remember, this retested the bottom of the support. This thing does look like it's trying to get to its resistance level to about 370. So watch out for it to get there, and then we'll see what a chart looks like to see if a trend possibly can occur. If you look at soybean oil, bullish trending, consolidating for the longest time. Nothing really going on here. If you look at the daily time frame, it looks like it's trying to start a bullish trend, but it's got to break 1400 to start a bullish trend, and major support is going to be at 1329. Okay, and then lastly, wheat. If you look at wheat, it looks like it's just consolidating as far as the weekly is concerned. If you look at the daily, it looks like it's trying to pop out right now, but it's got to break 750. If it does, then it can have the possibility going up to 800 and maybe starting a trend if it gets above 800. So time will tell exactly what this thing's going to do, but we got to wait and see. That's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. Speak to you next week.